JFL in the H here. We're live for another edition of Real Talk Roadkill, a subscription podcast. Of course, we're linked into LinkedIn, social media, YouTube, Facebook Live, as well as occasionaltradition.com. I'm your host tonight, and of course, we've got a wonderful guest with us, good friend as well as a real professional, y'all. I got a real pro on tonight. Let me tell you a little bit about him. His name is Jarrell Flynn. He's affectionately known as JFLY. JFLY's successes are blessings from his passion, mastering the drums, and impacting the lives of young music students across the nation. He is a professional drummer, an artist, producer, and music director, a world-renowned artist, a humanitarian, and has served 2 full terms as the Recording Academy Atlanta chapter of the Grammys, President of Education Committee, co-chair. His ambition enables him to tour and or record many artists such as People Bryson, Jeff Gobert, Jennifer Holliday, Aretha Franklin, Bobby Brown, After Seven, Regina Bell, and New Edition, while also producing various projects, including his very own solo projects, Hypnotic, Love Song, D, Volume 1, and R, Volume 2. Television appearances include music director for top-rated WSB Centennial Olympic Parks, 4th of July celebration, Soul Train Music Awards, ET's Sunday's Best, first ever music director for Heisman Trophy Award, 2 of Tyler Perry's movies. His biggest accomplishment, everybody, is the birth of the JFLY Music Festival, held annually for 8 consecutive years in his birthplace there in Waycross. I had a chance to go to one year. Man, it was phenomenal. Jarrell, of course, is endorsed by numerous drum equipment companies as an unknown, as is known rather, as the drummer with the big heart. As the founder of the How Big Is Your Dream Foundation, JFLY's focus is to help our young people turn their dreams in reality. Hey, welcome to the show, man.
Man, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
So let's go back a little bit, man. Let's start from your childhood. Share with our audience as to how this all came started for you as a kid, man. Wherever you want to start with back home, however you want to start it. Go ahead.
Well, it was when I was in my mama's stomach. No, not that far back. Well, the stories are very, very similar of a lot of today's musicians. They got their start in church and gospel music. I'm the youngest of 8. My dad is a deacon. My mom's a missionary. 7 boys and 1 girl in the family, and I'm the youngest. I'm the last. I guess I would be the David in our family lineage. And honestly, the drums, music, just being around an environment of music, it was accessible. I grew up in it, so it wasn't nothing strange for me to see my brothers, playing instruments or to hear songs. But the thing is, I didn't play any secular music or hear secular music in my house, so I didn't really get into the other parts of music until I moved to Atlanta. But my basis was all gospel. You can ask me anything about gospel, traditional gospel, choirs, soloists. I could play those with like the hymn book.
Now,
Yeah.
during that time, JFLY, did you have any resistance from your parents or anything like that? Sometimes kids they come up like that, and the parents won't allow them to even experience other genres of music. Did you have any type of resistance?
Well, I didn't really try to play any other genres but gospel. The only resistance I got was when I would play drums on my desk in school. I'd be in class and just tapping because I'd be finished with my work. But my mom, she really, really encouraged us to do whatever we could that was in our heart. So she would get, pianos. She got a trombone. I played trombone for a minute. I even played tuba for a minute, but drums was the thing that I could just hear. I had a bass guitar. She bought me a bass for Christmas one time. I was like, "Mom, I think I want to try bass." So I started playing bass, and I actually played bass for a good amount of time. But drums, that has always been my anchor in the sense of music and what I always gravitated back to.
So now, who actually inspired you to get on the drum set? I mean, I recall, as you said, being at church. Matter of fact, we used to go to church together. We were at
Right,
Tabernacle for
right.
many years together, and when your brother Richard wasn't on the drums, you got on the drums and you took it to another level, basically.
Well, they really inspired me, but they never said, "Come on, let me show you how to play drums." I would just see them, and of course, me being the youngest, I was just trying to imitate them. I was trying to be in the group with my brothers, and they would be like, "Man, go sit down. You ain't ready. You ain't ready." And again, you talking about tough skin because back in the day, it was so many drummers ready to play drums. Like if you had a shot, that was like the NBA All Star. Matter of fact, the NBA championship,
Yeah,
and the testimony service, the offering, and when the preacher got up, those were like the high points for drummers.
right.
So only way I could get on drums is either somebody was slain in the spirit or somebody didn't show up. And yeah, so with that, I just was always trying to, you know, put my foot in the door and like just give me a chance. But the interesting thing about my gift is it came so naturally. I didn't have a drum set at home, but I was able to hear it. And literally by me just getting on and trying and being in church so much, I developed the facility, but I always heard the rhythms.
So you didn't go to school to play drums?
No, not initially. I got in school when I was in middle school. I tried to play tuba. I passed all of the access tests and the things that they test your ears and see if you're even musically inclined. And I passed it with flying colors. And my band director and I remember it vividly in sixth grade said, "Your ear is too good for you to play drums. I need more in the brass section. So I want you to play tuba." And I grew up as an obese child. I struggled with child obesity and weight. So with a tuba wrapped around me, I was like, "This ain't finna happen. Like I'm already fat,
Right.
and now you want to wrap this big old tuba around me." So, and that was in the days when back in Waycross, they used to march in the streets for Martin Luther King holiday, Christmas parades and stuff. So we didn't march in no stadium like they do in Atlanta or maybe march, up MLK. We marched in the whole city. So, well, Waycross wasn't but this big anyway.
Right.
So, but with that being said, I shied away from the music from an educational perspective because he didn't give me a chance to play drums. I mean, they wouldn't even let me pick up the drumsticks because they said my ear was just too advanced to play drums. So I strayed away, but I did go back to school. Actually, I graduated in 2022 from Berkeley School of Music with music education and music theory with a 3.96 GPA.
How about that? How about
Yes,
that?
sir.
And so the journey continues. So let me ask you about your brother Richard, man. What was it like when we lost Richard to you as a brother, youngest brother? Yeah.
Well, it was definitely impactful. All of my brothers, I'm kind of like a hybrid of each one of them in some form, in some capacity. A lot of stuff that I picked up from Richard, like Richard played basketball. He very good at basketball. He did a lot of broadcasts from video editing and audio. And playing music, that was something else that he was really, really good at. I remember when Douglas Miller, for a lot of people that don't know Douglas Miller by name, they know My Soul Is Anchored.
Yeah.
Douglas Miller would request Richard to play drums with him, and I mean play drums for him when he came in town. And my thing was, I just wanted something that would give me a voice and something that I felt like I would be good at. So I picked up a lot of things from Richard, and we was actually playing basketball on the day that he passed. My family was up here in Atlanta for Thanksgiving, and we was at the YMCA playing basketball, and we all said, we was going to meet back up and eat. And I never saw Richard again. And we played basketball all that day. He was in great shape. He was in basketball leagues, but he had a massive heart attack and passed 2 days after Thanksgiving. So that was very impactful. I had never felt a pain like that because our family had never suffered loss in the sense of something that tragic and unprepared for it. We didn't have time to prepare to get our emotions. Next thing the family was here for a celebration, and it turned into mourning. So yeah, it was very, very hard.
Yeah, it was hard for a lot of us, man. I mean, Richard and I was very close as well.
Hmm.
Always had me to come in and do some voiceovers for him for the broadcast. Things of
Yeah,
that nature. Man, it was just fun times with him, man. We just had our joking time together. We get our laugh on together as well. So yeah, it was very he's been missed, man, from that time to this time for sure. I
yeah.
want to ask, I want to ask you, Terrell, JFLY, what is it what what is it like to have a dream for those people that may be out there, for you to have a foundation that started in 2011? How big is your dream? What is it like to just have a dream? What is that like for anybody?
It's interesting, Rodell, because for me, what I'm doing now wasn't even a dream because I had never seen it done. I never fathomed that I would be sustained by music or the arts or entertainment, and it wasn't even a dream until I changed the environment that I was in. Meaning, I came up here to Atlanta, and it was something that sparked the passion that was within me, and that dream started to bother me and chasing me. I would try to leave it alone, like, man, that had never happened. Nobody in my family has ever did that, especially outside of the gospel world.
Yeah,
But opportunities kept presenting themselves, and just situations where I was able to, really, really play drums and be heard in a different light where nobody knew me as a Flynn. They just was like, "Who is that guy? Where is he from? What school he went to?" I didn't go to school up here. I was just like, "Who is that guy that looked like Chris Tucker?" That's
right.
all. That's really what people always say. And I had an identifiable sound, and it was really at that point where "How big is your dream" was awakening me. And the question came to me like, "How big is your dream?" I was like, "Wow, how big is my dream?" And then after that question, the exclamation that's behind the question mark is the action that I had to start applying to my own talents and gifts to perfect the gift that was given to me. So
Yeah.
that's where the action came in.
What do you say to people that simply don't think dreaming is that important? What do you say to people like that?
Woo, boy. And it's a lot of things that will crush dreams, environment, opportunities, somebody just believing enough in you to say you could do it. I would say the dream is really, really up to you to believe, regardless of what you see or don't see. A lot of things that I've been able to accomplish outside of my immediate family, my wife and my family supporting, I had never seen it done before by a drummer and by somebody that came from a city like Waycross, from the Centennial Park stuff to the festival stuff to playing with all the artists that I used to see on television. And once I was able to accomplish one small dream, I was like, if that can happen, I can
Yeah,
keep dreaming. I can keep climbing, and I can keep getting better and better and better. So, once the unbelievable happened for me one time, I like, okay, I serve an awesome God that
yeah,
can keep making those dreams and those visions come to fruition.
absolutely, absolutely. As I said before, everybody, How Big Is Your Dream was founded in 2011, and the focus on the three core values were youth-centered music education activities, community outreach through performing arts, and sustainable civic engagement via hyper-local partnership development opportunities.
Hmm.
So, 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 as you begin to formulate How Big Is Your Dream Foundation, what were some of the first steps that you had to take in order to even introduce it to the general public?
Well, honestly, I when I heard it at the time, I was telling, well, she's my girlfriend then, now she's my wife. I was like, man, how big is your dream? I don't know where this come from. I don't know how to start it. And that's why it's really good to have a good partner to support you. And she was like, yeah, we can do it. She actually is the one that helped push it out of me. And when I heard it, I was like, it's so many musicians that come from places where they don't have the support like they need, or feel like anybody care about entertainment or them being a musician or artist. And if we could put some stuff in place, or if I can put some stuff in place, what I've learned in the industry, then at least they'll have an opportunity to see if this is something that they really want to pursue. And with that, How Big's Your Dream has been a safe haven and an environment that allow, aspiring artists or parents that have, younger, have kids that with a talent to get an environment to really access opportunity to see if there's something that you really, really want to pursue.
And what age category do you focus on the most?
I focus mostly like most of the meat of it is 10 to 15. We have some as young as 8, then we have some as old as 18 or 19. And I mentor a lot of adults as well. Actually, I'm on the mentorship team for Berkeley School of Music. And I'm always helping and providing nuggets here and there for musicians that just don't see or understand how this can be sustainable. And you have to be very good in a lot of different things as it pertains to your initial core talent. And that one key of drums opened up so many other doors that were, exposed me to other things and other skill sets that I didn't know I had. So that drums has been a key, not a door. It has been a key, and it's been a valuable key for me.
Wow. So now I saw you on social media not too long ago where you was going to a school for the first time and to talk about your gift. What was that experience like? You said it was the first time talking to the school. They never had someone like you to come in. What was that experience like?
It again, Rodell, a lot of this stuff be surreal. I mean, just even sitting here talking to you on your podcast, because I remember when you was on radio when I first moved up here. And when I first moved up here, radio announcers that they were like the ringmasters of music. Like, hey, if they playing this, and they used to do the skate parties. Like, y'all don't even understand how Rodell, I don't know if y'all know, but Rodell used to have the skate on lit. Like, if you was going to Rodell, like he's spinning, you finna skate all night because he gonna be jamming commission, the whiners. Like, so I was able to embrace that. I was young in my teens and stuff, but I was able to embrace it. And when I see that stuff and remember that stuff, and now schools are calling me to be keynote speaker for their seniors that's going on to college. And a lot of these schools are introduced to me by word of mouth, by parents that kids have been in the program, and the parents have been able to witness the impact that, How Big Is Your Dream and myself have had on their kids. So they suggest me to the school administrators a lot. And I was just sitting there while my videographer was asking me about what the day is. And the person that invited me said they had never had a keynote speaker. They would normally have students come up and reflect and administration, but this year they wanted to do something different. And I was the first person to ever come in and speak, and I had 15 minutes, and I tell you, it was so wonderful for them to trust that time and that transition time with me. And I'm ever forever grateful that God has really blessed me with so many of these opportunities.
Yeah. The foundation, How Big Is Your Dream? What is the passion of yours the most that you get out of sharing with these young people, JFLY?
Well, the passion that I get out the most is those that are talented, but they're kind of conservative and shy and don't know how to embrace, what they have. Because again, a lot of systems say that music is not a career path. So a lot of them don't have the confidence, journalism, for what you do and what others do that surround, the core bed of entertainment. A lot of them don't have the confidence, but they have the talent. So we're able to put them in a system that really awakens that confidence to say, this is who I am. I'm owning it. I may speak soft, but once I go through How Big Is Your Dream, I do have a voice. So whatever their unique voice is, we help that. We don't say you got to sound like this one or you got to learn at the rate of that one, but we do want you to see yourself, advancing at your pace. As long as you're advancing, we're supporting.
How about that? So now, this program started back in 2011. What kind of success have you had with it as far as your personal opinion about it?
Just seeing a lot of our kids that parents that had more traditional career paths, that they wanted their children to follow those paths, but they trusted their kids into the family. How Big Is Your Dream? And those that didn't really support entertainment because they saw the impact on their kids started to understand to support whatever dream their kid had because they was in the environment of how big is your dream. So a lot of our kids get a chance to go on to further their education, and then like I would say 70 to 80% of our kids that go to college come back and work with us during the summertime as counselors, and they be calling me like, when the academy start, we want to come back and work, and we want to come back and be a part. And that's so important that they understand the importance of coming back and giving back, and this cycle being you know ongoing. So with that, with them going and getting their education, with them having opportunities to embrace stages and rehearsal rooms before they even, get a deal, it takes away a lot of the wow factor that sometimes misleads our artists. And now they're able to be a lot more intentional about what they want to do and where they see themselves.
With the foundation, do you find that kids go from no desire at all to great anticipation of something in the future for them?
Yes, a lot of our kids, because our summer academy, spring break academy, they happen when they're out of school. So as I know, I didn't want to do anything associated with learning when I was on my breaks. So a lot of the kids that they'll come in, especially if this their first time, be like, I don't really know about this. I'm trying to sleep at 1 o'clock. But after that first day, they normally are waking. The parents are coming in. They're energetic. They're like, what we're doing today, because they're preparing for their finale presentation that normally happens at the end of either the spring break or the summer academy. And they begin to help each other because with the music education and with their talent, we're showing them how to put their show together so it can be a demonstration of the things that they want others to believe in them and support. So it becomes a very, very, very encouraging environment for me as well.
So now, do you bring in other instructors, or you do this on your own? How does this come about?
So the academy really started with parents asking me to give drum lessons. When I was doing the Centennial Parts and the Sambuca back in the day, a lot of parents were like, will you give my kid, drum lessons? And it was so many was coming. And at that time, I didn't have time, but also I didn't have a system of how to teach drums.
Yeah.
So I was always saying, well, they need to know more than just their initial instrument, so they can really respect the other instruments that's going to surround them while they're playing. And it was birthed to me start a camp. At the time, it was a camp. Now it's an academy, but start a camp and have vocal training, and have music theory, and have dance. And we started with that, and I was able to bring expertise in those areas in that were working in the environments that I was working in. And now we have up to 17 instructors, and a lot of these instructors are touring, and they come in and they teach. From this year, we're adding more dance. The young lady that helped Usher learn how to skate when he was doing his residency in Vegas is coming in and teaching dance. I mean, we have drama. We're having a clothing company that's going to come in and help them with design, so they can design their own summer academy shirt. I mean, we have visual arts where they be painting, they be dancing, they be singing, getting vocal coaching from a lot of industry professionals. We add in a whole orchestra component with strings and orchestra. We have bass instructors. We have music production. So it's a lot that's in the How Big Is Your Dream family, and it really gives a broader scope of what entertainment is and what those career paths can be.
So let's talk about this academy. Summer Academy, everybody, of the arts, made music, arts, diversity, and education. Can you expound on that a little bit for us?
Yes. So Summer Academy of Arts. So what we like to say, get made for the industry. And the core value of made is an acronym. It's music, learning, understanding music, the arts. Another thing that's in STEAM, supporting the arts, diversity, embracing differences, and embracing different cultures, embracing different instruments, embracing people that may be a little different than you, but y'all vibe musically. And of course, education became so big for me when I was faced with so much music, and I couldn't just hear it and learn it by ear because it was so much, and I had to go back and really undergird the talent with education. So if you want to make it in the industry, you got to get made first, and you got to have a foundation that's going to support sustainability. And honestly, Rodell, every career path, that's really the secret of sustainability: your talent, your passion, your ambition, but then the education comes in, and that's what the marriage is. And a lot of people don't stress education when it comes to arts and entertainment.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to ask how important it is to be educated in this art because a lot of times people want to come along and just got a little talent or they've been given a little gift, but
Yeah.
they don't feel like they need to study their craft. Can you speak on that a little bit, JFLY?
Well, that became vivid for me when I was exposed for only thing I had was talent, and I was placed into a more classical setting when I was doing a jingle in Florida. And again, for those that are well studied in music, to turn a lot of music around in a short amount of time, they do it so effortlessly because they have the education. When it's talent, it takes a little time to really bring it in when you're changing stuff and changing a lot of music. And I was in a setting where I needed to hear it. They weren't playing the music so you can hear it. They was putting it on the sheet paper. And with that, if
Read.
right, exactly, read it and like so. With that being said, it really said if you're gonna do this, you can't keep making excuses and saying it's them against me. No, it's you against yourself. So where do you see yourself in this music industry, and how impactful you want to be? So challenge yourself. So that's what I did. I was like, okay, I know I can't read music, and you can't wing it and skate for so long. So that's why it was important for me to go and get my music education. So when I'm bringing in, and when you're doing award shows, Rodell, just for those that may not know, we have rehearsals. But when the artists come in the day of the show, they have changes that they've got accustomed to hear. They don't really care that you've been rehearsing 2 weeks. They don't really care that the MD has asked them to send in the music. When they get there, they want their music to sound like their band with all of their changes. So you have to be able to adjust what you've been rehearsing for 2 weeks to accommodate the artist, the one artist out of the, because when you're doing award shows, there's many artists, but the one artist, you have to make them feel like they're playing with their band with the stuff that they got accustomed to. And there's no way to just do that by ear. You have to have education.
Wow. Education is the key, everybody.
100%.
Education is key. So now, how big is your dream, Jarrell? I mean, how
Man,
you formed this organization now since 2011? Where did it go for you, brother?
well, when we just 2 years ago, we got federally trademarked, which was a huge accomplishment for me for How Big Is Your Dream. Now we're doing events. We're hosting events. We're doing concerts and shows. And my dream, honestly, is really to be able to have a school of How Big Is Your Dream, and to be able to be in multiple areas where kids that can't come to where we're housed now, being in DeKalb County, can go to our satellite location and get the same type of treatment and community and experience. And I really, because the kid that is so talented that has never been embraced for their talent need to be in a community that'll support that, and their confidence can be built, and the parents can trust that environment. So that's my dream, to have a school that's year round, an environment and a community that's constantly supporting the dreams of our next generation of entertainers.
Made, of course, everybody is a academy school that happens uh, this next month. I see June 3rd to 21st.
Yes, sir.
Reserve your seats at howbigisyourdream.org. It's going to be taking place at Porter Sanford Third Performing Arts and Community Center, 3181 Rainbow Drive in Decatur. And reach out to the folk and get your kid in there. Is it difficult to be a part of How Big Is Your Dream organization?
It's not difficult, and reason I'm saying it's not difficult if you want to be in entertainment. But if you want to play football and you come to How Big Your Dream, it's gonna be difficult because we move at industry pace, so our students can get used to applying what they learn at a fast pace, because that's how the industry is. We're not gonna steamroll it, but we are gonna get you accustomed to how competitive entertainment is. I'm not gonna sit here and tell nobody that entertainment is not competitive and it's gonna wait on you. No, because music changes and the next hottest this and that happens so fast. We was talking about technology, how one week you're learning this and the next week you got to pretty much throw that away and learn something new, and it gets smaller and faster. So with that being, with that being said, we really give them a realistic approach of what the industry feels like. And then I must say, DeKalb County and the officials and Parks and Recs have really been supportive the last few years of what we do, and they see the value in us being in the community. So with that, the ones that come in, all they have to do is audition, so we'll know where to place them based on beginner, intermediate, or advanced. Now, grandma can tell you advanced because she hear you singing in the shower. But when you come and how big your dream, advanced may go down to intermediate or
Right.
beginner based on your technique and sustainability. So we know you've been singing at the cookout and you've been slaying them and they've been, but hey.
Well, I call it real talk with Rodeo. Okay, keep it real, bro. In other
we
words, yeah, you may think you all that in a bag of chips.
Yeah,
You like some real folk that know music,
absolutely.
make make your feelings hurt.
And again, Rodell, it's done in love, but we want to make sure when you leave Georgia and go to places like New York or Nashville or California, you're not made a mockery of what you don't know. And a lot of those systems are set up with an industry standard in mind. So if you're singing, we're going to be talking about solfege. If you're playing an instrument, we're going to be talking about scales. If you're playing drums, we're going to be talking about rudiments.
Yeah.
So, and we're going to have those professionals in those different areas, really, letting you see if your band, this is how it's applied to industry music.
What is winter bash and instrument drive? What is that?
So the Winter Bash is what we created so we can have 14s by teams. So throughout the season, we have these pop-up parties that the teams are able to put their show together. So we have one in spring, we have one in the winter, and they really they put their show together. Sometimes it's an open mic, sometimes they want artists, it's a DJ, they have food. And this past year, they was able to be involved with a toy drive with Commissioner Larry Johnson, and they did the toy drive in the beginning, gave away food. Then they had their whole winter bash that evening, and it's really celebratory for teens, for teens by teens.
That's what's up. You know what, man? I'm proud of you, man, because you're doing some great things for our kids, man. We need to do more of that. Do you
Yes,
find do you find any resistance from the parents, or do you find, you know what? I'm glad you took on this responsibility, even though my kid didn't want it initially. But do you find that the parents are embracing what you're doing with these kids?
Yeah, I really don't have resistance from the parents. Even those parents that quote unquote was in the industry and want to be momagers and parent managers, they really see the the passion that we have and the expertise. Not only the passion, but the capacity to have expertise, and they support it. The biggest question I get from a lot of parents is, "Why didn't I know about this sooner? Where you guys been?" And that's really the resounding question that I hear more than anything. Like, why didn't we know about this? So that and again, what we do, we're coming from inside out, not outside in. I'm still touring. I'm still playing with a lot of artists. Still putting shows together. I still practice every day. You see the drum set behind me. It's not a painting. That is a drum set that I play and that I work out on. And I got regiments that I have to adhere to, because when I'm on these bigger stages and I might not have a chance to do sound check, I have to be at the top of my instrument and craft. So that's parents really respect, and a lot of people, parents and aunties and uncles, or those that are caregivers of the kids, they be like, I didn't know that they can do it at this level and play these instruments and play these songs like that. And we do it in a short window, Rodell.
Yeah.
We're not with them for a whole year and then they have an end of the school year recital. This is done pretty much in 2.5 weeks,
Mm.
and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of intense listening and playing and going home and practice. But we get it done and they get it done, and they're very, very, very proud of their efforts.
Speaking of practicing, you find that they have the discipline to do that, or you got to kind of instill how important that is to practice?
I'll say 50-50. I have to, especially with talented aspiring artists, because they so fast with what they hear. But I have to instill the practice regimen in, because you have to practice. You have to stay up on what's the sound and the current sound. And because you have a great ear, that don't mean you don't have to work on your weaknesses, or work on things that you need to perfect. So I do find myself, re-emphasizing the importance of picking up your instrument or practicing when you're away from the academy, or when you're not preparing for a show.
Yeah. Once again, everybody, it's called MADE, the Summer Academy of the Arts, Music Arts, Diversity, Education. It's going to be taking place June 3rd through the 21st at Port of Stanford Performing Arts Community Center. And reach out to them. Go to howbigisyourdream.org and get all the information, and get your kid in a positive environment, because they need it. They really do need it.
Yeah.
Hats off to you once again, man, for doing what you do, man, for the kids as well as the community at large. Man, bruh, who's some of the folks you got to play for the next couple weeks?
Well, yeah, I'm music director for After Seven, so we've been every week we've been in a different state, not city, but a different state, and we've been a part of the Farewell tour for Frankie Beverly and some other shows that we've been doing, and then I also music director for Regina Bell, and locally I work a lot with Ken Ford and my own projects, and working with aspiring independent artists. So I'm always working on some stuff and working with different artists, or helping out or facilitating. And it's some more things that we're about to release that's going to be in the community. A lot of you guys remember me playing Wednesday wind downs and doing that stuff at Centennial Park, and then going on to do Centennial Park fireworks celebration. And it's some things that we're getting ready to do in DeKalb County that kind of reflect a lot of that vibe that we used to love about Centennial Park.
Wow. Man, you know what? You encouraged me to even dream the more, man.
Yeah,
Even at my age.
yeah, man. Absolutely.
In other words, keep dreaming. I
Yeah,
remember, I remember a song by Andre Crouch, dreaming, dreaming about you. Hoping that one day soon, through the clouds, you can burst through. But I really want to see you, and I really want to be with you. But until then, I'll keep dreaming about you.
wow. I need to go look that song up for real.
Andre Crouch, that's
Yeah,
a pretty song, bro. And it's all about how big is your dream. You got to keep dreaming. Some folk, man, they take their gifts and talents and they put them in, and like the scripture talks about, they bury them, so to speak.
absolutely, man.
As
Absolutely.
we close, man, encourage folk how to keep dreaming, man. Encourage them.
Well, and again, it's important for me, that my kids see, for one, their father not only inspiring them, but inspiring others to dream. And it gets challenging with the schedules, and me trying to make sure that they know that their father is their father, but also has an assignment that is accessed by many others. And I just want to make sure that I'm doing the will that I was placed here to do, as I inspire others, that I keep inspiring my family to know that they have personal dreams, and that I can support that too. So my kids, they do sports and music, and I'm getting better with my girls and letting them get older. That was hard for me, to let my girls grow up, but for me, it's very important for people to understand that the community or the situation don't determine your dream become reality. I grew up in a very, very horrific environment where I saw a lot of drugs and a lot of shooting. I grew up in a household that was Christian based, but my outside my doors, it was really, really, really rough, and it was a lot of influence that could have taken me down the wrong path if I didn't have a stable upbringing, and that stuff really keeps me focused in the industry today. I mean, I travel the globe, Rodell, with so many different styles of music, from country to gospel to R&B to hip hop, and I have an anchor in me that keeps me really rooted into, you know, what my core values are when nobody else sees me, nobody else knows my name. And the biggest thing is I don't want to let God down with the things that He's entrusted to me.
My man, great job, man. Well done, well said. Listen, man, thank you so much for the opportunity. I know you're a busy man. Thank you
Yes,
for
sir.
the time you share with us this evening, and keep dreaming, brother, because your dream inspire other people to dream. How about that?
Man, thank you so much. I appreciate that, man.
My man, JFLY, everybody, y'all check him out, man. Wherever he is, he'll be there for you. I promise.
100%.
Get out sometimes and go to some place he be. What be happening where he is. Time, man. You have a blessed one.
Thank you so much.